Good morning, fifth grade. We're going to continue reading Esperanza Rising. We're going to pick up right where we left off yesterday, in the middle of chapter 7. Before we get started, we want you to think about, have you ever failed at something the first time you tried it? How did it make you feel? So describe a time when you failed something that you tried and how it made you feel. I'm thinking about the first time I went skiing and I put my skis on and I just automatically started going down the hill and I was screaming because I didn't know how to stop and I thought I was going to like ski off the mountain and die. And one of my friends who I was skiing with came and rescued me and taught me how to ski, and I was really embarrassed at first, but I kept trying, and by the end of the day, I could get down the slopes by myself. But don't think I'll be skiing anytime soon. Still pretty scarred from that experience. So go ahead and write down a time when you tried something for the first time and how it made you feel. Were you scared? Were you nervous or embarrassed? Or did you feel really successful and proud? Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the focus question. Today we're going to think about, how does Esperanza's first day of work reveal that she's naive? How are Marta and Miguel's responses to Esperanza's problem different? And what does this reveal about each character? We have 3 vocabulary words. The first one is vigorously. That's when you're forcefully completing an action with a lot of effort. So this person is vigorously scrubbing the floor. The second one is tittering, which is quiet laughter or giggling. This person right here. And the third one is ridicule. That's when you're being made fun of. So this group of people is ridiculing this guy. They are making fun of him. All right, turn in your book. I believe it's around 113, 114. There's a break in the page, and we're going to pick up right after the break. And we're going to use our CSPS strategy. And at this point, Esperanza has been left in the cabin with Isabel and the 2 babies, and she and Isabel are babysitting while their parents go out to the fields and work. "Do you know how to change a diaper?" asked Esperanza when they got back to the cabin. "Certainly," said Isabel. "I will change them and you can rinse out the diapers. We need to do some laundry too." Esperanza watched as the young girl laid the babies down one at a time, unpinned their diapers, wiped their bottoms clean, and pinned on fresh diapers. Isabel handed Esperanza the smelly bundles and said, "Take them to the toilets and dump them, and I'll fill the wash tub." Esperanza held them at arm's length and almost ran to the toilets. Several more onion trucks passed by, their smell accosting her eyes and nose as much as the diapers. By the time she got back, Isabel had already filled 2 wash tubs with water from the outside pipe and was swirling soap around in one of them. A washboard was propped inside. Esperanza went to the wash tub and hesitated, staring into the water. Bits of onion skins floated on the surface of the soapy water. She held the corner of one of the diapers, lightly dipping it in and out of the water, her hand never getting wet. After a few seconds, she gingerly lifted the diaper from the water. "Now what?" "Esperanza, you must scrub them like this." Isabel walked over, took the diapers, and plunged them into the water up to her elbows. The water quickly became murky. She rubbed the diapers with soap, vigorously scrubbing them back and forth on the washboard, and wrung them out. Then she transferred them to the next tub, rinsing and wringing again. Isabel shook out the clean diapers and hung them on the line stretched between the chinnaberry and mulberry trees. Then she started on the clothes. Esperanza was amazed. She had never washed anything in her life, and Isabel was only 8 years old, made it look so easy. Puzzled, Isabel looked at Esperanza. "Don't you know how to wash clothes?" We'll stop right there and go ahead and underline these two sentences in the last part of that paragraph. It gives us a clue about Esperanza. And so we know that Esperanza has never washed clothes in her life. She's not very good at it. And she's kind of embarrassed that Isabel knows how to do these adult things and she doesn't. Press pause to write down what Esperanza is going through right now, and then you can use this quote in box 1. And then press play when you're ready for box 2. It says, describe the setting. Well, we know Esperanza and Isabel are babysitting Lupe and Pepe, the babies, at the camp during the day. All right, and it says, on the first part, it says they got back to the cabin. And so that's our clue about where they are. All right, we go to the next part. And we're looking for a problem that Esperanza faces. While Hortensia took everything out to the laundry quarters, and the servants, she looked at Isabel and shook her head no. Isabel's eyes got bigger and she looked worried. Esperanza, when I go to school next week, you will be here alone with the babies, and you will have to do the laundry. Esperanza took a deep breath and said weakly, I can learn. And later today, you must sweep the platform. You do know how to sweep? Of course, said Esperanza. She has seen people sweep many times, many times, she assured herself. Besides, she was already too embarrassed about the washing to admit anything else to Esperanza. Okay, and this is an example of foreshadowing. How Esperanza, she doesn't want to admit that she doesn't know how to sweep, because she's already too embarrassed. And so that's some foreshadowing about a problem that's about to happen. Isabel sat with the babies while Esperanza went to sweep the platform. The camp was quiet, and even though it was late in the day, the sun was unrelenting. She retrieved the broom and stepped onto the wooden floor. Dried and brittle onion skins were everywhere. In her entire life, Esperanza had never held a broom in hand, but she had seen Hortensia sweep, and she tried to visualize the memory. It couldn't possibly be that hard. So this is an example of the author building our suspense. She's, visualizing broom in hand, even though she's never actually swept. She doesn't think it's going to be hard. She put both hands near the middle of the broomstick and moved it back and forth. It swung wildly. The motion seemed awkward, and the fine dirt on the wooden planks lifted into a cloud. Onion jacks flew into the air instead of gathering together in a neat pile like Hortensia's. Esperanza's elbows did not know what to do. Neither did her arms. She felt streams of perspiration sliding down her neck. She stopped for a moment and stared at the broom, as if willing it to behave. Determined, she tried again. She hadn't noticed that several trucks were already unloading workers nearby. Then she heard it. First, a small tittering, and then louder. She turned around. A group of women were laughing at her, and in the middle of the group was Marta pointing. Hang on. Cenicienta? La Cenicienta? Yes. Cinderella, she laughed. Okay, we'll stop right here. Esperanza's problem, as we all know, is that she did not know how to sweep. And when she tried to sweep the platform, she couldn't figure out how to do it. And she looked up to see a group of people laughing at her. So write down the problem in box 3. Esperanza did not know how to sweep the platform, and everyone in the camp laughed at her, including Marta. And you can write down one of these sentences for your quote. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready. For box 4, now we're looking at how Esperanza solves her problem. Burning with humiliation, Esperanza dropped the broom and ran back to the cabin. In her room, she sat on the edge of the cot, her face flushed again at the thought of the ridicule. She was still sitting there, staring at the wall, when Isabel found her. I said I could work. I told Mama I could help, but I cannot even wash clothes or sweep a floor. Does the whole camp know? Isabel sat down on the bed next to her and patted her back. Yes. Esperanza groaned. Ugh! I will never be able to show my face. She put her head in her hands until she heard someone else come into the room. Esperanza looked up to see Miguel holding a broom and a dustpan, but he wasn't laughing. She looked down and bit her lip so she wouldn't cry in front of him. He shut the door, then stood in front of her and said, How would you know how to sweep a floor? The only thing you ever learned was how to give orders. It's not your fault, Anza. Look at me. She looked up. Pay attention, he said, his face serious. You hold the broom like this, one hand here and the other here. Esperanza watched. Then you push like this, or pull it toward you like this. Here, you try. Slowly, Esperanza got up and took the broom from him. He positioned her hands on the handle. She tried to copy him, but her movements were too big. Smaller strokes, said Miguel, coaching, and sweep all in one direction. And she did as he said. Now, when you get all the dirt into a pile, you hold the broom down here near the bottom and push the dirt into the pan. Esperanza collected the dirt. See, you can do it. Miguel raised his thick eyebrows and smiled. Someday, you just might make a very good servant. Isabel giggled. Esperanza could not find humor in the situation. Somberly, she said, Thank you, Miguel. He grinned and bowed. At your service, mi reina. But this time his voice was kind. She remembered that he had gone to look for work on the railroad. Did you get a job? His smile faded. We'll stop right there. For box 4, how is the problem solved? We know that Miguel came and showed Esperanza how to sweep, and she was able to get it. And so you can use this quote, like, how would you know how to sweep the floor? No one ever taught you. Or you can use the quote where he's like, pay attention, or this one when he's coaching her. All right? And then you can write your paragraph. How does Esperanza's first day of work reveal that she is naive?